In 2017, the tension inside McLaren's Formula One headquarters could be felt through the walls. The once great team, champions of Senna, Prost, and Hamilton, was now trapped in a nightmare. Their cars were slow, unreliable, and humiliated on every straight. The Honda engine, once a symbol of unmatched Japanese engineering, had become the punchline of every paddock joke. But behind the public embarrassment, something extraordinary was happening in silence. Deep inside Honda's R&D labs in Sakura, a new engine was being born, one that McLaren didn't want the world to know about. This is the story of the secret Honda F1 engine McLaren tried to keep quiet. The partnership between McLaren and Honda was supposed to be a rebirth. In 2015, when they reunited after decades apart, both companies believed they were recreating the magic of the 1980s, the era of Senna and the unbeatable MP4/4. But Formula One had changed. It wasn't just about horsepower anymore. It was about hybrid technology, energy recovery, and software precision. And Honda, after years away from the sport, had underestimated how complex the new turbo-hybrid era had become. The first engine, codenamed RA615H, was a disaster. It overheated, lacked power, and couldn't run at full capacity for more than a few laps. McLaren drivers Fernando Alonso and Jenson Button were constantly frustrated, retiring race after race. Alonso's infamous radio message, "GP2 engine, GP2," during the 2015 Japanese Grand Prix summed up the humiliation perfectly. But what few people knew was that Honda was already developing a completely new engine in parallel. Away from the cameras, a secret project had begun in late 2016, one that aimed to rewrite everything. Engineers referred to it internally as Spec Zero. This wasn't just an upgrade, it was a revolution. Honda's new concept borrowed ideas from Mercedes and Ferrari, but took them further. It completely changed the internal combustion layout, moving the compressor and turbine apart, optimizing the energy recovery system, and experimenting with radical new fuel-air mixtures. On the dyno, early versions of the engine were already showing signs of life: more power, better efficiency, and crucially, stability at high temperatures. Yet when McLaren was informed, their reaction wasn't excitement, it was hesitation. McLaren's technical leadership had grown tired of broken promises. After years of excuses, they no longer trusted Honda's projections. Some inside the team even believed that the Japanese engineers were chasing impossible goals, prioritizing pride over practicality. McLaren executives, especially those handling sponsor relations, were under immense pressure. Every DNF, every blown engine, meant more lost money and credibility. So when Honda proposed testing the new Spec Zero concept, McLaren resisted. They wanted reliability above all else, even if it meant less power. They instructed Honda to stay conservative, to play it safe. What they didn't realize was that by doing so, they might have turned down one of the most promising engines Honda had ever built. In early 2017, a small group within Honda decided to move forward quietly. Without McLaren's full knowledge, they began running private tests in Sakura and at their facility in Tochigi. The data they collected shocked them. On the bench, the new engine produced over 900 horsepower, approaching Mercedes-level output. But the story doesn't end there. It gets stranger. McLaren's contract with Honda gave the team control over when and how engines were introduced. That meant Honda couldn't officially deploy the new power unit without McLaren's approval. Behind closed doors, tensions escalated. Meetings turned hostile. Engineers from both sides stopped trusting each other. Honda claimed McLaren's chassis was inefficient, while McLaren blamed Honda for every failure. By mid-2017, the partnership had turned toxic. Then, something unexpected happened. Red Bull's junior team, Toro Rosso, began secret talks with Honda. They wanted to test what McLaren refused to, and in that deal lay Honda's chance for redemption. When McLaren officially announced they were cutting ties with Honda at the end of 2017, most people thought it was the end of the story. But inside Honda, the engineers who had been developing the secret engine were finally free. That engine, known as the RA618H, would debut with Toro Rosso. It wasn't perfect, but it was the beginning of a transformation. By 2019, the same technology evolved again, now powering Red Bull's main team, and the results spoke for themselves. Max Verstappen took multiple wins that season, marking Honda's first F1 victories in over a decade. Ironically, much of that performance came from the same innovations McLaren once refused to test. Former Honda engineers later admitted that some of the Red Bull-era breakthroughs had originated from the 2017 Spec Zero prototype. The split-turbo layout, the high-efficiency combustion system, and even parts of the hybrid recovery design were born during those secret tests McLaren never approved. It was a twist worthy of a Hollywood script. The engine McLaren wanted to keep quiet became the foundation of a championship-winning power unit. By 2021, when Verstappen claimed his first world championship with a Honda-powered Red Bull, many inside the company looked back at the dark McLaren years not as a failure, but as the painful birth of something extraordinary. The politics of Formula One rarely allow for such redemption arcs. In most cases, when partnerships collapse, bridges burn. But for Honda, the quiet perseverance of its engineers turned what seemed like an embarrassment into one of the most successful comebacks in modern F1 history. And McLaren? The years that followed weren't easy. They moved to Renault engines, then to Mercedes again, trying to recover their form. While their chassis improved, they never regained the dominance they once dreamed of with Honda. Some insiders privately admitted regret. Had they trusted Honda's vision, had they allowed the new engine to be tested, things might have been different. In the end, this story isn't just about horsepower or hybrid systems. It's about belief, about how ego, politics, and fear can silence innovation, even when it's right in front of you. For Honda, the lesson was clear. True progress sometimes requires silence, resilience, and the courage to build even when no one believes in you. For McLaren, it was a reminder that greatness in Formula One isn't just about engineering. It's about trust. The secret Honda F1 engine McLaren wanted to keep quiet was never meant to stay hidden forever. Its DNA now runs through the Red Bull Powertrains project, through the champions of the modern era, and through the very idea that no failure in Formula One is ever truly final. Because in this sport, what you bury in secrecy today might just power the future tomorrow. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like, comment, and share it so it can reach more people.